Hey everybody, it's Charlie. We got to talk about Walking Dead Thunderdome. We got the greatest of reunions. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't seen the episode yet. If anything happens to Carol, if she gets a cold, we riot. So if you guys are brand new to the channel, I do weekly Walking Dead videos. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. They're finally actually doing stuff. The characters feel like they have active goals. Their actions in each of the episodes are moving them towards that. We have an end point. We know this war with the Saviors is coming, so now they're forming alliances. Everything is happening all at the same time. It's so great. So there is a new round of the Walking Dead giveaway going on. I'll explain that at the end of the video, but let's do top 10 WTF in comic book Easter eggs. MVPs of the episode had to be Thunderdome Rick, Gabriel with that mouth on him, and Daryl, who tracked down Carol for that great reunion. And actually, number 10, meet the new group. This is not a group from the comics. Her name is Jadis. That's the same name as the White Witch from Chronicles of Narnia. Make of that what you will, but it's not the Whisperers. This isn't Alpha. This isn't Magna's group. There are a lot of other groups in The Walking Dead. This is March to War Volume 19. We're several volumes after that in the comics. There's so much comic book material for them to cover. The Whisperers, all those people come way, way later. So when we saw these boots, we saw how hardcore they were. They had a female leader, like some of the other groups that we haven't met yet. There were a lot of questions. Now we know. This is Thunderdome. It's like something out of Mad Max mixed with Lord of the Flies. It's so crazy in that weird formal way she has of speaking. So I'm really interested in her character. She seems pretty cool. Guns. Give us lots of guns. Number 9, that opening standoff with the Saviors. This is all part of the Ezekiel plot. Him not wanting to get into the fight, Richard being determined to draw them in. So he has another standoff with that total prick that takes his gun and Morgan's staff. There was a nice callback for that at the end of the episode. Whatever you're holding on to, it ain't there anymore. The staff itself is sort of a metaphor for the way he respects life. He refuses to kill. It's literally been taken from him, so now he might have a reason to kill again. That doesn't mean that he will, but just like Carol refuses to kill, there might be that one thing, the one friend that gets hurt that pulls them back in. So if there's anything they're setting up here, is that Ezekiel is probably going to get pushed over the edge if something happens to Benjamin. That will be the thing that brings him in, because Benjamin, like he says, is pretty good with the staff. He disarms the situation, but he tells him not to rush into a fight. So that sounds exactly like what Benjamin's going to do. He's going to throw down, something will happen, he'll get himself killed, and that'll be the tipping point for the kingdom joining the alliance. But if they're going to pay off anything, they have to let Richard gouge this dude's eye out. He totally deserves it. Number 8, I hear you're a bowman. Daryl gets a crossbow back. You can just hear everyone cheering in the background, just the roar of everybody just getting so excited as he's raising that up in the air. The only thing that would make that better is if he were wearing a poncho when that was happening. Like, here's your crossbow, here's your poncho, now hop on the motorcycle and let's kick some ass. So number 7, Richard's big plan. Daryl gets to see the clubhouse with all the secret weapons. You see this Katie backpack, and it looks like maybe it belonged to Richard's daughter or something like that. This is that place where we saw him break down crying. Richard's one of my new favorite characters from the kingdom so far, just because he's so crazy. He's so determined to draw the Saviors into a fight so they can crush them. So Daryl, once he slowly starts finding out what's going on, he starts teasing Carol, slowly gets the idea, come on, tell me, what is her name? And Richard finally explains the WTF plan that number 7 makes Daryl throw down. So he wants to goad the Saviors into a fight. You know, they have this nice mural here of what's going on in the episode. It's actually a truck out of the Smokey and the Bandit movie, but you see the robber robbing the stagecoach. It's a nice visual metaphor for what Richard wants to do to the Saviors that are driving by, but also a metaphor for what the Saviors are doing to everyone else. They're the robbers that are taking from everyone else. But even after they wrestle themselves bloody, he still tries to convince Daryl that this is what they need to do. It's going to happen sooner or later. We're going to get another chance. But if you were confused why Daryl was so upset about Carol, it's because she would have been collateral damage in this first strike attempt. So that's why Daryl went on that big tear. If she starts sneezing, if anything happens to her, I'll kill ya. Number 5, hardcore Gabriel at the standoff. So he's like Rick's hype man. He's just like, Rick is the person to get you whatever you need. It's all about stuff. The Garbage Pail Kids are kind of like an organized, more formal version of the Claimers. We've claimed Gabriel, we've claimed all the stuff from the boat. So this is actually a great arc for him. You get the big explainer for what happened in the last episode, why he bailed with all the supplies. He's actually doing a really good thing. It was this really strong arc for his character. I'm really happy with where they've taken him. He's had one of the biggest turnarounds from all the characters. I'm expecting the same thing for Dwight's character, someone who goes from being human trash to being a really cool character within the span of a season. So expecting big things for Gabriel as well as Dwight. I know it always feels like when people like Gabriel get those really awesome arcs, then they pull the rug out from under us and kill them, but Gabriel's not super high on the list of people that I think are going to die this season. I feel like he's got too strong of an arc, and just in the way that Carol did, became this really amazing character, they're going to want to keep him around for a little bit longer. Beyond season 8 though, anything goes. I feel like they could get to a solid 10 seasons with the comic book material that they have at the rate that they're blowing through it. So you guys can let me know in the comments though. It just feels like anytime they give the secondary characters like that a really amazing arc, something really bad is on the horizon. So as long as he doesn't get too full of himself or get too heroic, I feel like he'll be okay. But this is so much fun. Number 4, Rick has to enter Thunderdome and defeat the Mouth of Sauron Walker to win them an alliance with this new group. If you don't know who that is, there was this big deleted scene from The Return of the King where there was this creature that was made to look like this walker who became a mouthpiece for Sauron to speak through, literally speak through. So Rick wins Thunderdome, cuts his hand in the process. He better get that cleaned up pretty fast. He hurts his hand more than anything. I feel like that's the hat tip for what happens to him in the comics, the thing that they're probably never going to do on the TV show. But number 3, Rick makes the deal with Jadis. There was that funny moment where she gags at the idea of shaking his bloody hand. As hardcore as she is, they gave them so much setup. Like, oh my god, it's another version of Carol the Terminator. This is going to be so much fun to see her with all the guns that they're going to get for them. But they had that funny haggling scene where they're like, okay, we'll give you a third of the stuff we stole. She explains the boat. We were waiting for a long time for someone to go get that stuff. We don't do that. We actually just take stuff from people. We don't go out and find stuff ourselves. So she seems weirdly complicated, and it's super interesting. I can't wait to see more of her character. But as much as she seemed impressed with the idea of Gabriel's speech, the way he talked Rick up and the way he proved himself, I think it's just the idea of all the stuff that they'll get to take from the Saviors. That's the reason they're joining the Alliance. Like, oh crap, we're going to get a ton of stuff if we take down this other group. There's also a big deep cut for way back in season 3, Michonne's rainbow cat. If you don't remember that, Rick gives her that trash cat here. This is to replace the one that you lost. I believe that that is an Easter egg for the rainbow cat, but you guys can let me know in the comments. That was from like a really young Carl side trip to the King County Cafe where she busts in and there's all these walkers in there and she comes out with this rainbow cat. Just couldn't leave this behind. It was just too damn beautiful. But number 2, it is the big hat tip for Oceanside. You saw how conveniently they set that up at the end of the episode? Okay, we need a lot of guns. Tara, you've been out further than any of us. Why don't you tell us where not to go? And she has that funny look on her face like, oh, I got an idea. I know where to go. There's another group led by a female as well. Maybe they'll have something in common with this other female-led group. So whether or not the actual Oceanside people come to help them out physically, they'll at least get most of the guns that they need. But you can see how they're setting things up. It's not going to be super easy like 1, 2, 3, we have all the people, all the guns, let's move on them now. So the other thing that they need to pay off from the Tara episode, that's really what this was. It was the payoff from the Tara episode, is the key card, which I think the biggest theory right now, probably the best theory, is that that is how they open the doors at the satellite stations. So hopefully we'll find out about that either next week or the week after, because next week seems like a really Saviors heavy episode. So we'll touch base with all the people we haven't seen since the show's come back. But really, like, the number one moment has to be that Carol-Daryl reunion at the end of the episode. So cry-worthy. Such a great fake-out reveal, too, where they come up with the cobbler. They're like, hey, we just wanted to check on you. They go away, knock again at the door. Carol's like, god damn it, people bothering me. And it's Daryl. They both break down crying. The whole thing here is just delaying the inevitable. Carol will find out about Abraham and Glenn eventually. Like, you saw her, break down crying. If anything happened to them, I don't know what I would do. Her soul would die. She would be Terminator Carol, full on, 100%, no going back. So the real question now is she going to find out from someone else, and that's what's going to bring her into the fight? Or is it going to be like the Benjamin thing, where this innocent person that she kind of cares about a little bit, that Ezekiel really cares about, might end up dying, and that brings them in? Either way, we had the really great reunion moment, just letting us know that Carol will eventually come back, but it's going to take some big WTF moment before she does. Either she's going to have to find out about her friends, or a new friend is going to have to die. So let me know in the comments which you think it's going to be. But what's going to happen tomorrow is I have some new Spider-Man Homecoming to post. There's some more Marvel and DC. But there is a new round of the Walking Dead giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on this video. Congratulations to last week's giveaway winner, Blake Johnson. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. While you wait for that, you can click here for brand new Game of Thrones, and you can click here for all my Walking Dead videos. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone, let's high five. I'll see you in the next video.